Sandi, I want to welcome you to the stage next as our next speaker. We've got 4 more speakers this afternoon, so boom, 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 boom. It's going to be amazing. Sandi's business is Freedom Crab Nation, talking about all those crabs in a bucket. I love this message. I think it is amazing because how many of us have had those crabs in that bucket yanking us back? All of us, right? So welcome to the stage. You are making such an impact on so many entrepreneurs. And that's what it's all about. So welcome. I'm so honored and happy to have you here. I am going to pin you to the top and ask everybody else to please mute themselves. If you are not currently muted, please do so. I will check, but I'm going to pin you to the spotlight and welcome Sandi. Happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Haley. Thank you for inviting me and having me. So I want everyone to take just a second and stretch, because we have bounced from amazing thing to amazing thing to amazing thing. And then we go in the breakout rooms and we're a little stressed because we don't know everybody and we're trying to be on. So just take a second and stretch, stand up if you need to, or if you want to, and just kind of take a second to breathe and reset. We're about to have some fun, but I want to make sure that you can be present for it, okay? All right, Freedom Crab Nation is about overcoming crab mentality, all right? It's about what it is, how it works, and how to avoid it, because you don't want to be a bucket crab, trust me. So first, the visual. What is crab mentality? So picture crabs in a bucket. If you put more than one crab in a bucket, you don't have to put a lid on it. Why? Because crabs will naturally grab each other and pull each other back into the bucket. So even if you have one, even if you just have 2 little crabs in there, the one crab will pull any attempt to escape back down to keep them for certain death. Like, how ridiculous is that? If they paired together, they could both get out, but no, they claw each other back in. So you do not want to be a bucket crab. That's the perfect visual for crab mentality. It's the phenomenon that if I can't have it, you can't have it. If I don't believe I can do it, I'm not going to let you believe that you can do it. Okay? If we all banded together, we'd just kick the bucket over and we'd all be freedom crabs. But so many people have crab mentality. Dr. Schwartz, who is on faculty at MIT Sloan, states that crab mentality is related to loss aversion, which is so interesting to me. And according to Dr. Schwartz, our brains are wired to avoid loss more deeply, or actually twice as much, as they are wired to get reward. So seeing someone else as successful makes our little brains think that we are missing out on a piece of our pie. Even though we may not even have it, we still potentially think that, wait, that was my piece and you just took it. Kind of like drive-by prospecting, if any of you has ever been in outside sales. That's my business and that's my business. You've never walked in the door, but all those businesses are yours until someone else walks in the door and then you're mad at them for walking in. So this concept, this loss aversion, for me, explains so many things. It explains for me why people play not to lose instead of not playing to win, right? How many of us show up each day and we're just trying to get through our day and get it done? We're not playing to win. We're just playing not to lose that day. And then you have another set of us that's like, yes, yes, give me this day. I'm going to take it on. And they're playing to win. They play all out. They're on the court. And trust me, ladies, if you're on the court, you speak very differently than if you're sitting in the bleachers. There's a big difference between throw me the ball and throw the ball. Huge difference. So listen to your verbiage. It'll super help you. It also explains to me why people have limited thinking around money, because if your concept is loss aversion and your thinking is that things are limited, If you don't have a lot of money and your opinion is that somebody else already has all the money, why would you go work hard to earn it? Why would you work hard to bring more money into you? Well, those people wouldn't. That limited thinking would not. And so that loss aversion in crab mentality super helps me. So, do you think that people who suffer from crab mentality even realize they have it? I doubt it. I doubt it, because who wakes up every day and sets an intention of, you know, if my good friend gets the spotlight put on them, then it's going to cast the light on my limited thinking. So I need to drag them down. I need to tell them all the reasons they can't succeed. You know, I don't think that we consciously wake up and think that as we start our days. But I do think that crab mentality is passed down, right? Like it's passed down to our families, it's shared with us from our friends, from our coworkers, teachers. I've had a few teachers. And society and media, and the big one, advertising. I mean, advertising shows us like someone else is always better. And if you buy this piece of product or that piece of product or this program or that program, that you'll be better, right? So that crab mentality gets passed on because we're always trying to be better than somebody else and look better than somebody else and do better than somebody else. And those things can shine a light on us. So to help us explore this concept, today we're going to talk about 3 different crabs. Okay, we're going to explore 3 different crabbies today. The first crab is the can't do crab, right? I named her Karen. There's so many Karen jokes going around. So I apologize if anyone here is named Karen. Don't take this personal. But the can't do crab, Karen, she's got a W-2 job. She doesn't really like it. Her life is unfulfilled. She's just generally dissatisfied in her day. Confession, I was married to Karen once. He was a guy, but I definitely was married to a Karen. So she has a somewhat down disposition and she's negative Nilly, but you know what? She's always there for you when your chips are down. So you retain her as a friend, right? Because a Karen Crab likes it when your chips are down because you're in her bucket with her. So she's always there for you and you overlook the other pieces of it, right? You just ignore the negativity from Karen and all her can'ts. But if you decide to change your life and you're ready to make that change, and that job opportunity or that entrepreneur opportunity, maybe a schooling opportunity comes along, an opportunity to get healthy, and you make that decision, this creates fear for Karen because you doing great things shines a spotlight on her limited thinking. But she's your friend. So you take this great idea, dream, or goal to Karen and you tell her what you're about to do, what you're about to achieve, and how excited you are. What does Karen do? Well, Karen tells you all the reasons that you can't achieve it, right? She tells you all the potential roadblocks, all the potential challenges, and why you won't make it. Maybe she'll remind you that you tried to do something in the past or that your friend, somebody else, Sue, tried to do something and they weren't successful. So why would you be successful? How many of you have a Karen in your life? How many of you live with a Karen? Like, yeah. Sound familiar to anyone? We all have Karens. Karen crabs exist everywhere. So the next crabby that we're going to talk about is the gremlin crab. Now we've been talking a little bit in Haley's group about gremlins and what they are. The gremlin crab, I can't name for you. The gremlin crab you have to name for yourself, right? Because the gremlin crab is the inner voice that tells us that we are not good enough, right? You have to name that crab yourself because it's inside of you. It's talking to you. And I'm going to tell you, I have some of those gremlin crabs. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Misery loves company, right? So gremlin crabs rarely travel alone. If one little gremlin crab can come up with why you're not good enough, sorry, Ange, if one gremlin crab can come up with why you're not good enough, they're going to start commiserating with other little gremlin crabs. And they're going to start singing in your brain of why you are not good enough. Angela's, as a side note, is cute and cuddly, but it's a distraction crab. So hers doesn't tell her why she's not good enough, but it does drag her off task. So you got to watch those cute ones too. They're just as dangerous. Gremlin crabs are connected to our egos, right? Our ego wants recognition, and our ego also wants to protect us from experiencing failure or criticism. It doesn't like that. But fear can run rampant in us. It's crazy. We fear success. We fear failure. We fear looking too smart. We fear looking stupid. We fear falling on our face. We fear making a fool of ourselves. And we fear offending someone. I know I fall into that last category a lot. Like, I do not ever want to offend anyone. And it holds me back. And the crab is like, you're going to offend so-and-so. You're going to offend someone you don't know. And my crab can keep me stuck. It's horrible. So the worst part about the gremlin crab is that it talks to you through you. So it's not like you can hang up the phone. It's not like you can end the conversation. It's not like you can just not pick up the phone and call that crab, because that crab, right, is here. It's living within us. So what do we do to put the gremlin crab in its place? Well, according to my IPEC training, it is the power of understanding, right? Gremlin crabs do not like our true understanding. Our gremlin crab gets its power from our own mind, but when we shine the light of understanding of who we really are and how strong and powerful and capable we really are, that gremlin crab loses its power to talk us down. We can speak to it by name once we name it, and we can tell it to go get in the corner or get behind us. I joke with Janae Walker, that get behind me, Satan kind of thing, you know, get that crab out of there. We just talk to it straight up and tell it who's in charge, who's boss, and what we truly are capable of. And we understand for ourselves. We might need a little help with that. You know, we might need to phone a true friend, not a Karen, don't be phoning a Karen, but phone a true friend, or write out why we are remarkable. We might need to take some steps so we can truly understand how great we truly are. But imagine what understanding and action combine together as you're building what you want to build, or achieving what you want to achieve, or gaining the health that you want to have. Understanding and action together, that gremlin crab does not stand a chance. So let's talk about our third little crabby. Our third crabby is named Amy, and Amy is a can-do crab. And I'll tell you straight up, I named that crab Amy because I have yet to meet a cranky Amy. I have only ever met enthusiastic, inspiring, happy Amy's. It may not be your experience, but that is why I named our can-do crab Amy. She is inspiring, and she has contagious, positive energy about her, right? It is not that Amy doesn't have struggles. She definitely has struggles. She has setbacks and she has problems. But unlike the bucket crabs, she doesn't let them overtake her. She doesn't let those struggles take her off course. She has the mindset of solution, right? So she refuses to get in the bucket. She won't climb in Karen's bucket, and she certainly won't entertain the bucket that damn gremlin creates. Nope. She operates in solution and abundance mode. She identifies her issues, right? She states them realistically. This is what they are, X, Y, Z. And then she gets to building herself and her business and her knowledge. because that gives her the tools that she needs to stay out of the damn bucket. Now, I'm going to tell you, Amy might phone a friend, right? We all need a friend. We need a positive friend. We need a co-Amy in our lives. And they may sit and they may brainstorm or discuss how to approach the challenges, and they may come up with some great ideas, but neither one of them will dwell on it, and neither one of them will talk each other down, and neither one of them will harm the other one. They will make sure that there's no bucket. So ladies, what did we learn about these three crabs? Well, we learned to protect our big ideas, dreams, and goals from Karen crabs. Their desire is to trap us in their bucket and to keep you small. Loss aversion permeates their minds. The second thing we learned is to identify your gremlin crab, right? They have a tendency to travel in packs because misery loves company. And the "you are not good enough" message likes company. So name those crabs, identify them, put them in their place, acknowledge that they're there, and then acknowledge your understanding of your capability and who you truly are, who you're meant to be, what your goals are, and the path that you're on. And if you're unsure, call me. Call me. I help people with that. And we can identify and achieve your big ideas, dreams, and goals. The next is choose to share your big ideas, dreams, and goals with Amy crabs, right? If you take nothing else away from this, take away who to choose in sharing your ideas, dreams, and goals with. They'll support you in your endeavor, your growth, and your success. And they'll cheer you on and be supportive through every single aspect of your journey. They'll be there in moments that you're discouraged, and they'll be there in moments when you're on stage and receiving awards. And they'll show up full-heartedly in either one of those situations, and they'll support you. Haley's group is full of women like that. Haley's group is full of Amy crabs. One last note. Haley, you're so cute. One last note. You may be related to, married to, or in relationship with your own personal Karen crab. I know that I am. God has blessed me with a crab. Woo! He's a W-2. He does great at his job. He's amazing. He doesn't understand my independentness, my 1099-ness, and he's just like, no. He doesn't even believe in coaching, and that's what I do. And I speak. It's an interesting dynamic that God gives me information and education every day. Oh, Barbara, I get it. I divorced one. This one's a keeper though. I know I just told you he's a crab, but man, he's good to me in a million other ways. So we're going to keep this crab, and I'm just going to do this, what I'm going to share with you. I don't share my big ideas, dreams, and goals with that crab, right? I don't need his approval. I don't need his understanding, and you don't need theirs. If you just suit up and show up and share your information with the appropriate people and not the wrong people, you'll have the support you need. And you don't have to explain your transformation to anyone. They'll see it. Your Karen crabs, they'll see your transformation. You'll show up differently. You'll have a different energy. You'll have a nicer purse. That's right. And better shoes. Amen. Yep. So now you know my weaknesses. Now I have to buy flashy flat shoes anymore as opposed to flashy high-heeled shoes, but that story's for another day. So please just take some time as you're going through your days and really listen to how people respond to you when you share what you're doing and what your goals are. Pay attention to how they respond to you. And if it's negative and full of roadblocks and discouragement, make a note of it. You don't have to discard that person. You don't have to eliminate your relationship or your friendship. There's no reason for that. But what you do need to do for you is stop sharing your information with them so that they can't drag you down in their bucket. And, you know, I wouldn't even try to convince them to get out of their bucket. They won't understand. They might be inspired though when they see your transformation and they see your success. And I know I see women that I'm connected with that went from making nothing to making $10,000 a month and more, selling makeup, selling hair products, just miscellaneous things, but they chose to be an entrepreneur. They chose to change their life, and they chose not to hang out with bucket crabs. And now they're just taking on the world. One of them just got to go up and fly in a personal jet because she's doing so well. And the jet flew to her to get her so she could go on that trip. So choose wisely, ladies. And if you have a bucket crab, just make a note, and don't share with them. You don't have to explain anything to them, and you don't owe them anything. So my last note to you is my tagline. Don't be a bucket crab, because bucket crabs get eaten. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is amazing. I'll refrain from some of my really bad jokes that I'm making in the chat here, but yeah, don't be a bucket crab because crabs get eaten. How powerful. Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's give Sandi a round of applause. That was amazing. 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 Thank you. Thank you. I just really enjoyed that. And, you know, it just hit so many nerves for me. And yeah, part of why I do what I do.
I totally understand. And I will tell you, I am about to marry my own personal crab who I just love and adore. And he is amazing to me. But, you know, just a funny note, and I've shared this with Angela, we were watching a documentary of Asian street food one night, and I cried my way through that thing. It was just, I loved every second of it. Most of it was translated, but it was just about real people doing real things in service to their community. And I just wept for the whole 30 minutes. And we were sitting outside later on, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And he goes, you want to make documentaries? Like, you can make films, like whatever. And I was like, I felt that like, and I was like, no, I don't want to make films, but I want to highlight people doing average, everyday things that are making powerful impacts on the world around them. And that's what those people are doing. And they're just amazing. They're hardworking, just everyday individuals. And that there's power in that. And it's so beautiful. And he made a couple more comments to me. And I will tell you, ladies, I stood up and I set a boundary with a backhoe. Like a backhoe came out of my heart and it was like, here's the line. I have now moted myself off. I have a moat of protection and I love you and you're in my life and you're wonderful. But here's what I'm going to do for me. And I said very calmly, I am going to go get the skill set, the information and the knowledge to be who I am meant to be and do what I am meant to do. And that's all there is to it. And guess what? I started on that venture and that journey, and I am working my ass off to be everything I am meant to be. And it has been such an amazing journey. It's just mind-blowing what's happening and the people that come into my world and the connections and the knowledge and information. But for me, people are a huge, huge, huge piece of it. And it is phenomenal and interesting to me, the people that come into my path as a result of that. I don't recommend setting every boundary with a backhoe. It was pretty hardcore, but you know what? Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it is. And in fact, I was going to say it hasn't damaged our relationship at all. In fact, it actually has made me a better person and I show up more effectively and more solidly in the relationship. And as a result, he does too. And he's a lot nicer to me. So just a side note.
Absolutely. My crab brought me Starbucks,
Ah,
but he doesn't understand what I'm doing.
exactly.
He has no understanding and no desire to understand, but he brings me food now. So,
See, and that's why I make a point to share in the presentations that you don't have to eliminate your crab. You just have to eliminate what you share with them.
mhm,
So
absolutely. Yes. Thank you. That is so impactful. And I think it probably hit a lot of us right in the nerves, right where we feel it.
Diane's
Thank
raising her
you.
hand.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Raise your
everyone.
hands if it got you in the nerves, right? Thank you. Thank you, Sandi.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.